what I want to explain to you, because this will give you an idea of why the government is collecting the information and what they're doing with the information, and why everything that's happening now is very similar, if not exactly the same, of what happened to me during that period of time. So taken exactly from the Pennsylvania EQA documents of explaining how they were about to do this. And this is a direct quote. A word about attitudes. Attitudes, beliefs, and values are abstractions. Nevertheless, they are real enough to each individual holding them. They are typically thought of a state of readiness, a predisposition to act or react in a certain way when faced with certain situations. A person's attitudes are always present, but remain dormant most of the time. They are expressed in speech or in behavior only when the object of the attitude is perceived. A person may have strong attitudes for or against astrology, but actively express them only when some issue connected with astrology arises, or when confronted by an attitude scale. Attitudes are often reinforced by beliefs, the cognitive, and attract strong feelings, the emotional component, that will lead to a particular behavior, the action tendency. The measurement of attitudes always involves making inferences about, since the attitudes cannot be seen or measured directly, we must infer their presence from consistencies that appear in the individual's behavior. Observing individuals across time and everyday situations is probably the best way to learn how the individuals think, feel, and act. This is the whole child theory. The whole child theory is the cognitive, directly relates to the affective, directly relates to the psychomotor, how a person thinks, feels, and acts. You cannot change someone's behavior unless you create a conflict in what they believe, what they feel, in order to control behavior. So the whole concept of the Pennsylvania EQA was that they were going to test the attitudes so that they were able to control how a child will act or determine how they will act in the future. And this was very important. So this is Bloom's taxonomy. It was very much a point when Benjamin Bloom, of course, wrote the Taxonomy of Educational Objectives, and David Crathwell wrote the Taxonomy of Educational Objectives in the Affective Domain. So this is the background of what the government was looking for. And understand that cognitive, most people think cognitive is about academics. Cognitive is your belief system. It's what you believe is true. So yes, you can teach a child 2 + 2 is 4. That is cognitive. But it's your belief system. So yes, Lincoln was the 14th president of the United States, but it's also, do you believe in God? Do you believe that Aunt Mary made the best apple pie in the world? That is your belief system. And that is directly related to how you feel about that. How do you feel? What is your attitude about that? What is your value? So in order to control behavior and to change behavior, you have to create a conflict in the belief system and in your attitudes and values. In order to do this, the government had to collect information, data, on the individual student. And this is where the EQA comes in. So, as we continue,